Merry Christmas! It is Christmas Day, that's why I said that. If I was going to say Happy Holidays, I'd say that too, because there are several other holidays. But mostly it's today is Christmas.
Bah, humbug.
Oh, don't be a mopey dopey. We watched this today for a special Christmas edition of Monster Vlogs, because this is a ghost story. You can't tell me different.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Haley.
And yeah, we just saw the George C. Scott version
of a Christmas
Monster
Carol.
Sorry if I'm a little out of practice. I've been busy editing things.
Yay, things.
So,
in general, how did this hold up as an adaptation of A Christmas Carol?
well, I've really only seen about maybe 3 or 4 different adaptations of A Christmas Carol, and I've never even read it. So,
I have not either, but it's in the public domain, so we can find it.
I mean, yeah.
It's also Dickens, so there might be some close reading needing to be done.
Probably.
But this is probably one of the most accurate versions I've seen.
Yeah.
It uses a lot of straight dialogue from the book and puts a lot of things in there that other adaptations that are usually done don't have. And by other adaptations, I mean the Muppet Christmas Carol, because that's my normal Christmas Carol. This is probably my favorite one as an adult, as like a psychological case for secularness, as I call it.
Yeah. I mean, it is a story that can be easily torn apart and like used to describe certain things, like in allegory, but I have no idea where I was going with this.
Okay, so Christmas Carol is probably my favorite Christmas story outside the Nativity. As a Christian, I would say that. But the Nativity is also part of a bigger story. So Christmas Carol is my favorite standalone Christmas story. And it's all about how you find a good man out of a horrible man, and you do that by scaring the bejeepers out of him. And it's like a parable of like celebrating Christmas as an allegory for living altruistically and kindly. And it's, you can't get more perfect than that, honestly.
Especially after this year.
Yeah, well, we're gonna focus on Merry Christmas.
Okay. I mean, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, a lot of comparisons can be drawn to a certain somebody.
It's apropos this year.
Yeah, exactly. And this has been on the docket for years. Like, not years, but, well, yeah, at this point, years.
Yeah.
Because we started in 2014.
I mean, as a specifically Monster Vlogs thing, it's been fairly recent, but I wanted you to watch this.
And I did, and
for a while.
It was good. This is my post-viewing choke-up voice.
Aww.
You choked me out just a little bit.
And
it was good. All the acting was good.
Good. It was a good, like, solid meat and potatoes adaptation. It wasn't a musical, which is rare for the versions of A Christmas Carol I watch.
Yeah, I mean, Zach keeps bringing up one
with Albert Finney. I hope if this becomes an annual tradition of Christmas Carol on Christmas for Monster Vlogs, that's on the docket. But I do think it was then, because it wasn't a musical, it was able to use particularly old traditional Christmas carols as kind of poignant punctuation.
Yeah.
For things. Because it would always cut to carolers, it would always cut to choirs.
And you know, on the subject of the carolers themselves, like, I noticed that the filmmakers made it a point to single them out and just point them out. Like, in the scenes, like early in the film when he's still like the Scrooge, Grumpy Scrooge, when he's just walking through the town, just passing them by, it's like this town, this area that you live in is just vibrant in music, and you're missing it.
And they almost function as kind of a Greek chorus.
Yeah.
In the way they use the carols. This one focused a lot on Scrooge's psychological transformation.
Yeah. Whereas Muppet Christmas Carol was about Muppets.
Well, it's probably one of the better adaptations of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Mainly because Michael Caine just decided this was a serious adaptation of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore the fact that there are felt creatures around me.
I'm just gonna roll with it. But this one particularly focused on the idea that Scrooge was willfully blind to the problems around him. Particularly when you look at the ghosts, and the ghosts have motifs of light that aren't often emphasized. Like the Ghost of Christmas Past was a candle, the Ghost of Christmas Present had a torch.
The Ghost of Christmas Past is like traditionally depicted as something of a flame with like the stamper, I guess it's called. No, it's not.
I don't know what it is, but like
the candle putter outer.
Yes, that is exactly what that is. But it like kept the light thing going.
And
with the other ghosts,
yet to come was lightning. So the small flame of truth, the vibrant torch of human kindness, and the quick, violent flash of death is... Oh, I love the ghosts. I love the... I mean, it's like...
Such good symbolism.
And that's what they are. They are, like, symbolic. Like, this one, they were very symbolic of light. In every adaptation, just get this out of the way, every adaptation is going to have their different symbolisms of each and every one of the spirits. Like, when we tackle the Jim Carrey one, that's probably the closest in terms of imagery.
Yeah, that one's gloms closest to the source.
But one of the other ones that I've seen as a kid and growing up, and one of my favorite ones, and even my favorite, like, peak climax of the story is Bill Murray's speech in Scrooged. I mean, that one's very much...
Well, that one takes
modern day.
Yeah, that takes the imagery that was used in the 19th century in Dickens' time and updates it for, like, the 80s, and it uses the most... I'm assuming it was made in the 80s.
Yeah, it was late 80s.
But it uses... It utilizes the updated symbolism. What did you think of the spooky elements of this version of A Christmas Carol?
I mean, they shot it like a horror film.
Particularly the visitation of Marley. And it is my favorite Marley. It is my favorite Marley in any adaptation I've ever seen, because he looks
like a corpse.
He looks like a corpse. Like an actual corpse. And particularly like when he takes the rag off his head and his jaw just flops open. And he just sounds so tortured.
And
like
he sounds so tortured.
He is in hell.
And he never makes eye contact. He's always like looking up
that's because his eyes have glassed
wide-eyed.
over.
Yeah.
Like in the close-ups you can see his eyes have completely glassed over.
Good costuming on him.
Yes.
Good makeup.
Good costuming on everyone, but particularly on Marley. And they use a lot of almost haunted mansion techniques for Marley's visitation, because they use a Pepper's ghost. He's kind of colored like the haunted mansion, so it feels old, it feels ancient.
And this was 84 too, so...
Yeah.
Whoa, I just realized that, like, Scrooge was only 4 years later than this. Like, 4 or 5 years later than this.
This is probably what, like, the production of Christmas Carol in Scrooge was directly parodying.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. I wouldn't, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the guy that plays Scrooge in that one... You know what? It probably is. It probably is. Yeah, because, I mean, just, like, side screen this. George C. Scott, and then that guy, and then Ghost of Christmas Present there, and then Ghost of Christmas Present in Scrooge.
Yeah.
Good old, like, pre-90s cynicism there, guys. Good on you.
And, particularly the sound design.
Sound design was
noticeably
really
good. Especially, I'm not sure if this was a TV production or not. We will fact check it, but at least for the 80s, especially if it was a TV production, the sound design is brilliant. It announces the ghosts before they get there. Particularly how they did the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. And just using that kind of screechy bow ensemble, did you say it was? That is, I think, my favorite, like, spooky sound. It's like where it sounds like a rusty gate opening. It's like, oh, we're in Spooky Town now. And the use of lighting was very good.
Well, yeah, there was definitely some Murnau influence in there. There was...
When they lit it like a horror movie, they lit it like a horror movie. The use of blue in the Christmas Yet to Come segment. I also like that the Ghost of Christmas Present takes no crap from Scrooge. He's my favorite Ghost of Christmas Present too. Like, because usually most adaptations just characterize him as Santa Claus.
Santa Claus
Santa
or
in
someone,
a robe and just he's jolly and la 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 la.
Or even the sense that I'm getting based on Muppet Christmas Carol is that, and you even talked about this at one point, that Ghost of Christmas Present is usually the one spirit that Scrooge
like they have
friends.
They have a rapport.
Yeah.
And especially in Muppet Christmas Carol, they have like the most rapport. Like Scrooge is sad when he goes away, but he also takes no crap from Scrooge. And in that one too, this one he's just like done. He's like sassy.
All of them are sassy. I mean, obviously, Yet to Come is kind of just
death.
Freaking death. I mean, guy in cloak, death. Pete in cloak with cigar, death. That was the other one that I've seen. Although it's been a while, I need to revisit that one.
That's probably one of the least accurate.
They only got a half hour to work with, so there you go.
Yeah. But it's like I think they even used stop motion for some bits with Yet to Come, either stop motion or puppetry, because there was parts where it was not human. There was not a human in there.
You think so?
I think so.
Well,
I did like the part where they just kind of wheeled Yet to Come across.
Is the wildest way.
That's a friggin' horror trope. Is where they got the actor on like a dolly.
It is a dolly.
And they just kind of wheel him across, so they just have the uncanny valley not moving thing. How'd you like George C. Scott himself?
I mean, this adaptation has been on my radar for a while now. Ever since Doug Walker, Nostalgia Critic, put it on one of his lists. I forget which one. Where he specifically pointed out the scene where they're in the past, and it's when Scrooge's sister picks him up from the school and his father like wheels him off to go into the apprenticeship with Fezziwig. And just the way that George C. Scott like moves into frame behind his younger self and just daggers on his father.
Stares down his father.
Like there is such a deep-seated resentment for that man.
They're digging up some demons here.
And just even when they're in the carriage with that really
that was
deep
a great
focused shot.
You have young Scrooge in the foreground, Scrooge's dad
like
in the midground,
unsure of his fate,
and then
George C. Scott
just
in the
looking
dead center,
in
just
on it.
looking in at his father like, you son of a bitch. Like, I hate you. That scene was pretty good. I also mentioned that when Belle broke up with him, there's like this huge
Really?
swell of music.
Well,
Like,
what I assume is going through anyone's mind when they're being broken up with. It's really melodramatic.
like if every breakup was met with that score, like the guy would just get it immediately. Just done. Like, oh.
Well, she's not that into me anymore.
Dick.
Yep.
But the story isn't really about that. The story is about like, I must have been dead. He didn't hear the music. That's why he couldn't hear the music. It was a shadow.
That was the problem. That was the consistent problem. Was the man did not hear the music of life.
But another thing that I really liked was at the end when Scrooge has turned over a new leaf and he's just revisiting or like immediately like making up for his mistakes. Like in most of the adaptations that I've seen, it's always
focused mainly
on the Cratchit family.
Yeah.
Like, I'm personally bringing this goose or turkey to you. This fowl to you.
This giant bird descended from the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. Like, personally to you, so I can, like, immediately right the wrong with Tiny Tim, because I don't want this little kid to die. No. He sends that anonymously and then goes to his nephew.
I do like they spent more time with Fred, and he spent more time on that reconciliation. That always kind of bugged me as a kid, because I'm like, Fred's family, what about Fred?
But they set it up so perfect, because it was like the Ghost of Christmas Past and the Ghost of Christmas Present both mention that your nephew looks like your dead sister. Mm-hmm. He's like...
The sister you kind of liked, the person you loved in this world.
Mm-hmm. And, like...
And it's also kind of, like, indirectly showing him how much he's become his father. Because he resents the son for taking the mother.
Yeah.
And you see that interplay whenever they mention that.
Resents the son for taking the... And even in Yet to Come... No, not Yet to Come. Was it Yet to Come? No,
Yet
Present.
To Come, yeah.
When he mentions that, oh yeah, you know... He's off, like your nephew is offering Bob Cratchit's oldest son a job for a lot more money than you would pay him. And just kind of like hammering that in too. Like he's only doing this to spite me.
It's like, not everything revolves around you, Ebenezer Scrooge. Maybe you ought to get that out of your head. Mm-hmm. Maybe your nephew's just a nice person. Like they emphasize that in this adaptation. I really like that.
Like maybe people just do things to be nice, not because they have any ulterior motives.
Being kind don't cost a thing. That's my motto with life. Being rude costs extra. Is what it is.
Yeah. No, well, I mean.
But the way they did it was, Scrooge sent the turkey anonymously, and then he spent Christmas with his nephew,
and it was the day after that he reconciled with Bob Cratchit. Bob. So, but
and then it felt like more mano a mano.
But what you miss there is like, because they set up Bob Cratchit's wife saying those things like, well, if he were here, which they resolved in,
give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and
and so on and so forth. But you don't get that in this adaptation. You just assume it kind of resolves itself. Like, oh, he doubled your pay. Oh, he's actually keeping you warm at work. Oh, he's actually giving you holidays now. Oh, I guess he's not so
bad. He's paying for our child's doctor appointments.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's a second father to our son. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it's a give and take, and I like that they gave more with Fred's storyline, because that is something that is not often given.
Yeah, they gave more with Fred, the Sheriff of Rottingham story.
You were IMDbing through this whole thing.
I was like, who is this person? And a couple I knew like right off the bat. It took me a while for Fred. I was like, oh, it's the Sheriff of Rottingham. Cool. From Robin Hood Men in Tights. And one of the charity guys is freaking Michael Gough. He's freaking Alfred from Batman.
So, on a more broad question, horror stories at Christmas, or ghost stories at Christmas. This is a ghost story. This is the most iconic one.
Yeah, it is.
Probably the best way to tell a Christmas story. Why do you think?
Scaring the bejesus out of people.
Why do you think ghost stories at Christmas work so well?
Because, like me, they want so badly to celebrate Halloween again.
Serious answer.
I don't know. I mean, because I've been brought up like with Christmas being the one holiday that's mostly happy, and you got to be happy with each other and happy with your family, and just kindness all around, peace on earth, goodwill toward men. That kind of mentality.
Yeah. But the thing about A Christmas Carol is the peace on earth, goodwill toward men is not without cost.
Yeah.
And it's not biblically, it's not in the Christmas Carol, but that cost is personal. And the moral of A Christmas Carol is that, what you can afford to spend on mankind is not always monetary, and it doesn't always affect things you don't know. Your very morality can depend on that cost. And I think it adds a kind of levity to Christmas, where it's not just saccharine happy times. It's like, no, this means something. What you give means something, and it does it in a way without involving all the cosmic importance of the biblical Christmas narrative, which is why it's the perfect secular myth story, what I call it. Be applicable to anyone, be they of faith or not.
Right. Well,
And that's my story.
that's A Christmas Story. How long is this thing? It's like 101 minutes. Alright, so it's 90 minutes of a spooky good old time.
Spooky Christmas.
Yeah.
Spooky comfy Christmas.
Spooky comfy Christmas.
'Cause
That it doesn't work anywhere but here.
Yep.
And this is like fairly cheap. Well, I don't know if it's really cheap because we got it for Christmas last year.
we have no idea what things cost when they're gifts.
Exactly. But definitely hunt this thing out. It's a good one.
It's a classic for a reason.
It's a good one.
If you want to know what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
Watch it's Christmas, Charlie Brown.
That
Not
too.
this. But
and that way.
But if
You guys,
if you're hankering for a spooky good old time,
if you need to hear a story about a grumpy, angry old man that doesn't like poor people becoming a good man.
why'd you have to mention poor people?
Dickens mentioned poor people.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to hear a nice story about an old, angry, miserly man becoming a good man and charitable man, this is the story for you.
It's a good one. Go watch it.
Yep.
And
God
speaking of-
bless us everyone, and by that I mean peace and goodwill towards men, which is what we make of it.
Translation: like, share, and subscribe.
That too.
And if we are at the end screen now, we've probably been there for a while. I don't know. She's editing it this time. I'm busy. Yeah. Click our faces to subscribe. Over there is
The ghost of videos past.
the ghost of videos yet to come.
Yet to come
That ways.
is the ghost of videos, past.
Down there.
And the ghost of Patreon present is down there.
The ghost of Christmas present, which is your present of
Patreon.
possible patronage. Yeah, I mean, we're not asking much. You don't have to.
Just a simple farthing, sir.
Give you half a crown if you return in 5 minutes. Why is that my takeaway line?
This freaking George C. Scott, he's like a grumbly, happy tiger.
He is. Oh, man. Yeah, so this is coming out on Christmas. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year.
In 2017.
Happy second night of Hanukkah, you guys.
Yay, Happy Hanukkah. Happy Epiphany if we don't see you until January 2nd. 6th? There we go. I know.
6th.
I know the words.
I'll be older.
When's Eid?
I don't know. That's out of my reach.
Happy solstice, happy all holidays that come in December.
Happy winter observance you decide you want to observe and light candles and dance
Merry
to.
Christmas as well. And we will see you guys next year.
And for all you retailers, good luck tomorrow. Especially if you work guest service counters.
We support you. Solidarity. Peace, love, and coupons.
Yeah, I thought this was cheaper online. Oh god, it's Sunday on Christmas too.
That means Boxing Day is Monday.
Happy Boxing Day too, Canada.
Happy freaking Boxing Day.